Hi there, friends. Maurice Trammell here again. Today I want to more formally describe my book, Breaking the Spell of Religion and Healing the Trauma, to you. Yes, I have a book to sell. But I'm not just trying to sell it. I want to reach people who've been badly affected by their religions and who can identify with what I have to say, with what I've been through and what I understand about this business of having been abused and traumatized by your religion. I know it only too well. I grew up Catholic. I've said this in other videos, and that environment is just overwhelming. And that's the case with most any religion. I read excerpts from Dr. Daryl Ray's book on the God virus, and he describes his form of indoctrination, and it's just like my own, and it's just like the indoctrination that so many of us have suffered. Here's what I understand these days, and what I want to share. Religion, formal religions, and I'll speak mainly about Catholicism, but they're businesses. And what is their business? Well, they've installed themselves as gateways to heaven. In other words, we allegedly can't get there on our own. We have to go through their system. We have to belong to their system. And their systems are covered in all kinds of doublespeak and language that most of us don't understand, and references to thousands of years ago, which we have no way at all of verifying for ourselves. It's what they tell us. And when you grow up in that system, you're basically instructed, don't question and don't doubt. This is all factual, according to them. Let me just repeat this point about religions as a business. So they train us to identify ourselves as sinners, and they have these two very big magical buttons called guilt and shame, all wrapped in fear. And that's our introduction to life in that particular religion. And so, since we're now being defined as defective and short circuited, so to speak, and we need their help, well, then now they have something to offer us, which is called redemption. Well, we didn't need redemption until they told us we were sinners. We didn't need any of this so called religious help until they defined us that way and guilted us and shamed us into believing that we were defective. My new religion was psychology when I discovered it, and not a religion in any sense of, honoring and praying and that kind of thing, in the sense of understanding how things work, understanding what life is, and understanding who we are at a core level. And that's what I'm about, and that's the message of my book, is to heal any wounds that impede us from being who we truly are at the heart level. And religion is a genuine blockage to that. So let me describe the book to you. It's about taking a stance. It's about standing up for ourselves and facing the consequences of having been brought up in a controlling religious environment. This book is for all of us, you and me, anyone else, who have suffered through the plethora of hurts and abuses handed out by church authorities over the course of our lives as indoctrinated adherents. As I said, I've been through this myself. I am an ex-Catholic, an ex-Christian, and suffered the trials and tribulations associated with religious trauma. In this book, we address questions such as, have you long suspected you've been a victim of religious trauma? Have you become aware of religious trauma syndrome as a newly defined life experience? It's all over the net now. Have you wondered why you feel guilt and shame for the smallest things and negative about your self-worth? Are you sick and tired of being defined as a sinner? I am. Are you ready to see that these negative, harmful effects are not your fault? Are you ready to face the truth of your religious history and begin to heal your trauma? Are you ready to love and accept yourself just as you are and live from your heart, from where we all originate to begin with? For myself, I easily answered yes to all of these questions when my quest for true and genuine spirituality began. I realized that Catholic guilt was my demon and have since met in many individuals recovering from their religious trauma, from Scientology, from Pentecostal Christianity, from Jehovah's Witness experiences, to name just a few. For me, having the advantage of being a trained psychotherapist, I could readily see all of our common denominators. This is my introduction to what lies ahead in this, what I call, epic piece of research that has recently come together after decades of digging into and writing about these effects. This includes my experiences in my practice years, where I met so many people dealing with these very issues, and the differing backgrounds they all came from. They, along with myself, had been traumatized by the religion of their birth, and were now ready to deal with the elephant in the room, their own religious trauma. In this book, you will find evidence of how this harm happened, what so many of us saw and felt as we went through it, and what you may be feeling now as you look for answers to all those questions swirling in your heart. Yes, you've been abused. Yes, your religion hurt you. Yes, it has caused you to doubt yourself, to feel bad about yourself, to feel inadequate and unworthy. Well, how can that be, you might ask, when it was always advertised as a saving grace? Well, my friends, that's part of the journey of deconstructing religious trauma. There are contradictions everywhere, you'll begin to realize. These are called double binds in psychology, designed specifically to twist you up and keep you from knowing your own true self, including the real world of inner spirituality, your deepest levels, and not the one they made up. Well, you might be ready to say, yes, I guess I've been through hell. And in fact, folks, it is a hell that they created and saddled you with. Our book here addresses these questions and more, putting you in touch with who you are at a foundational level, where your heart lives, friends, where your heart lives. This is designed to help you see religious trauma and religious abuse as actual blocks to your true self, your deepest self, that little voice inside that begs for your notice. That's your inner child who took all the hits. Yes, your heart and your soul are waiting for you to recover, to be reconnected with your own source power. It's where we all live at those deepest levels. It is time, and if you feel it, it is certainly time to rescue that part of you, hurt and buried under so much doctrine and the must-dos that they saddled you with. You and I, all of us, were innocent angels back then. What happened to you, what happened to me, what happened to us was never our fault, because we were being indoctrinated into that religious worldview, as opposed to being allowed to and encouraged to be who we really are at the heart level. Organized religion was and is the enemy, having turned you, I, us away from our primal self. That part of you that knows and understands love at the core of your own being. That part of you that holds the real answers to who you really are. That part of you that is the basis for healthy living. That part of you that knows and understands and appreciates love unconditionally. The kind of love we give to our children, to our pets, and we receive from them. For religion, sin was their message. Whereas in this book and in what I'm offering here and what you know and feel in your own heart, love is the message. Loving yourself, accepting yourself, and healing all those wounds that they saddled you with. Ask yourself now, my friends, where does your heart want to go next? Thank you for listening.